most every multinational now has, kind of a robust menu of policies and procedures, which include a requirement of, risk assessment. But in practice, my observation is that doesn't often look like an ongoing exercise, right? And so I'd just be curious if if you share that observation generally, and B, how do your respective companies assess risk on a ongoing basis?
We at Cummins, some of the things that we have been doing is going back to what Marisa was saying with a lot of documents and data. How can we best use the data to inform a risk assessment in an ongoing way, right? I think going back 5 to 10 years, we probably had a more formal, I would say more document paper kind of risk assessment versus going today, looking at our helpline and things coming out of the helpline, looking at the kinds of questions that we get after we train people, looking at our training evaluations and what kind of comments people make there, and bringing all those data together to make sure we're looking not only into potential issues that we've had internally, investigating internally, but also how people experience our proactive side, how people experience the training we're trying to deliver, the rollout of a specific policy or a survey that we just try to implement. So getting a hold of all of those, and I would say ongoing basis, and bringing them all together. So our risk assessment is always, it's always accurate. It's a challenge, but it has been an incredible transformation.
Yeah, and I think with that, one of the real considerations in 2021 is that a lot of how we address and determine risk is done in person, on site, and that's something that we're missing. So how can we pivot a little bit and make sure that we're still catching any areas that might be changing? And I think that there's two ways to do that. One is really being in sync with the business, understanding where the business is growing, where you might be absorbing more risk by acquisitions or mergers, and kind of taking that approach of really looking at a business focus. And then second, it's not ideal and it's not perfect, but increasing questionnaires to sites and seeing if you can ask the right questions so that you're understanding how things might be changing and where risk might be increasing as well.